We live in an amazing time period. Everybody that's alive now, you are seeing things that the prophets wish that they could have seen. You understand? All the ages that existed before this time was building up to this period. Let me explain. Time is separated into ages. At the end of each age, there are great calamities. And that great calamity ends one age and begins the next one. A lot of times, most of the people on the earth die during those calamities, and it's a new start. Now, scientists have found this out, and I believe they've been knowing it, but I knew it since 1986, when the Lord took me to the future and showed me different things. I knew it then, but the deeper parts of it I've known my whole life, because I remember my past lives and a lot of different details about ancient events. That's another video. But this time period right here we in today is a very important time period. This is the end of the age, but this is the end of the grand cycle. That's what I call it. I coined that term. It's the end of the grand cycle. And that cycle is the cycle of all cycles. And at the end of this cycle, all the other cycles will begin again. So say you got one big old giant circle, and that's the grand cycle. And within that giant circle, you have many other small circles. Okay? So we at the end of the grand cycle, where the new age that began will start back at the beginning of the grand cycle, which means the populations that live now will be wiped completely off the face of the earth. Only a few people will survive, and they will go on to create the new tribes and new peoples of the future. Now, with that, I'm going to go into the future. Past America, past the calamities and earth changes, past the darkness that I spoke to you guys about. That darkness is the separating point. It's the point that separates the past from the future, the old world from the new world. Okay. In the coming age, when the calamities end and the darkness come, and after that darkness come, and when I say darkness, I mean the sun gonna go out. The stars gonna disappear. It ain't gonna be no power on earth, no lights, no nothing. And it's gonna be very strong winds going across the earth, hundreds of miles an hour, like a giant hurricane just going across the whole planet, earthquakes, and just all hell breaking out. So all that's gonna happen in the darkness. After the darkness was a new dawn, a new day. The Lord brought me back on that day. I went to the future and I saw that darkness. I saw the whole World War III, the calamities to come, the powers that's coming from the sky that's going to cause fire to fall from the sky, the nuclear wars and all stuff, the giants eating people. I saw all of this. The witches and the perverts going to get together and eat people. I saw all this. And then the darkness comes. So it's the end of this whole age. It's like the new age, the new morning, that new dawn, the Lord brought me here. That was one time when I came back to the future. I went 5 times. I popped up, it was morning. I was standing on a newly formed coastline. It was made out of mud and regular grass. It wasn't a beach or none like that, like sand and stuff. It was made out of grass and dirt and stuff like that, because it used to be somebody's backyard. Now it's the coastline of a new ocean. I was standing right there and I looked out into the waters, and it was like choppy waters and stuff. And I saw skyscrapers coming out the water in the distance, and they was like broken. Then the next thing I noticed that it was like windy, but not real windy, but it was like a steady wind blowing. and it was raining, but it was like a light rain, and it was whipping down like at an angle. Um, um, the smell in the air was very fresh, very refreshing, like a new world. The sun was kind of misty, like it was like a whole new sun. It didn't shine the way it shine today. It was like reboosted, renewed or something. I turned and looked around me, and I noticed that I was on a small island surrounded by waters. And out in the waters, maybe I see like maybe 30, 40 feet, 30, 40 yards out, I see a concrete pavement, like you'll see down the street. Like when you drive down the street or walk down the street, you got a concrete sidewalk where you walk on. I saw a sidewalk come out of the water about 40 yards out into this waters, a sidewalk come out the waters. And it went for maybe about 20 yards and went back under the water. So yeah, a lot of things just gonna go underwater. I looked around to my left and I saw a bunch of vegetation, like weeds and bushes and stuff, overgrown houses. Like it was a whole neighborhood with the houses in a row like streets. But all the houses had no roofs. It was just the brick foundations left like halfway up. And they was overgrown with grass and they just went down into the waters. Yep, I saw that whole world. That morning the Lord brought me back there. It was magic. I'll never forget it in my life. The smell. It was like on the coast, like you're on the coast on the beach and you see seagulls and stuff. To take that and make it really. You ever been to a beach and it's like fresh water, fresh air? Take that and it's like 10 times better than that. It's like brand new water, brand new air. Okay? See, because what the Lord is about to do is do a cleanup job. He's about to clean all the plastic out the ocean. He's about to clean up all the nuclear power plants. He's about to clean up all the poisonous waters and streams and rivers that they polluted. He's about to clean up the nations, the kingdoms of the earth that wage wars. All of them are walking on eggshells. These are the last days, the days of unhappy endings. Your leaders and all of them are controlled by angels and demons. And they acting out and playing out the roles that our Lord God in heaven set for them. Everybody that's living now are meant to be here. And you're here for two reasons, one or the other. You either here to be redeemed and the Lord show you blessings before you die because you earned it in the life before, or, which is like a gift, or you here as a punishment and this is your hell and everything don't work for you. You either born disfigured, crippled, poor, or something negative. You either impoverished or something, or life is just hard for you, and you're in a predicament that you can't get out of. You only can die out of this. Some people are here for judgment, to be nuked. When they haven't, see, this is the thing people don't want to understand. Everybody make it seem like it ain't you. It's you, okay? Especially the American citizens. The Lord prophesied about you guys through the prophets many years ago, thousands of years ago. He said that you would come along and be the wickedest people to exist since the flood of Noah. That's y'all. I say these things for a reason, okay? Okay, now back to the future. This time I went to the future. I was there for like 21 days. During this time, people could see me because all the other times, nobody could see me. You know what I'm saying? Well, most of the other times, nobody could see me. I could see, hear them, everything. Stand right next to people, hear their whole conversations. Like I did that with the Giants. I stood right next to the Giants. They was white men, and they was about the size of a light pole. That on the street lights that come on at night, they was about that tall. And they had long blonde hair like a rock person from the 80s, long hair. So they had blonde hair and some